Hello there, Taurus. Hopefully you can all hear and see me. Good to see you. I know that there's been a lot of chat going on, so I thought I would start this a couple minutes early, bring Apollo in for a quick hello as well. I know you guys like to see him at the beginning here. And welcome, everybody. This is the first Taurus reading of the new year. I still think we can say Happy New Year for these, so Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you're doing well. And really looking forward to reading for you today. I had a great meditation. As you could see, I joined you all early here, but some really good information that I want to share with everybody. So welcome aboard. As I said, I wanted to start a couple minutes early. Just a quick note, because there was some questions about how it gets started, how you can access these videos. I know a lot of you are new to this live format. If you happen to join late or you need to leave early, don't worry about it. Everything is going to be archived on my YouTube page, as it always is, and you can access it there or on my website. So my moderators will put the information in the chat window, so don't worry about it. Whenever you join, it's good to see you, and whenever you watch it, it's also going to be good to see you. This is for February 2020. As you know, I'm starting to do them 1 month in advance. This is great because it gives you a chance to look at the videos for this month. So you can look at all the January ones on my YouTube channel and website. And then also, as I start to do these ahead of time, it's giving you a chance to exercise free will and really affect what's coming through in the month ahead. And I was talking to Aries the other day about it's sort of like being able to study for a test before it happens rather than showing up 5 minutes late. So that was my hope this year, was really to give you a little bit of extra time to get ahead of the curve, basically, and exercise that free will. You can always use these for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon. You can watch on behalf of someone else as well. So if you want to look at the different aspects of your chart, feel free to do it. I do use Western astrology, not Vedic. I know I get that question a lot, so I thought I would just answer that here. If you like what you see here, one thing that's really cool with this particular format is that you can use something called Super Chat. There's this little icon next to the chat window. It looks like a little dollar sign. And in that, there are stickers, and there's a way to kind of like say hello and give a shout out. So if you like what you see today, feel free to do that. That helps me continue to buy supplies like you see here. And although I won't have a chance to maybe say hello and acknowledge it during the reading, I will post a comment when the video is archived and say thanks there. And in advance, I'd like to thank anyone for doing that. The one difference between my style and a lot of other both astrologers and tarot readers is I'm not going to do Q&A or pick a card right now. I really want to focus on giving a broad message for everybody rather than kind of getting into the minutia. So down the line, I may do a Q&A, but today is my regular format, just live. To that end, welcome back everybody, both my returning viewers, some of the new ones that have, I recognize your user handles, the ones that have been joining me for the past couple months for these live videos. It's good to see you again. If you happen to be new, let me tell you a little bit about what the format's like, what we're gonna be doing today. Each month, I'm gonna add something unique to the live videos. This month, it's gonna be manifestation. I actually published a video a couple days ago about how you can manifest. And to me, there's a difference between like a New Year's resolution and really working on manifesting, because that involves like changing the, basically almost the program in your head and really starting to feel, see, and work with the kind of magical energy of manifestation. So definitely check out that video, but we're gonna do a little bit of a meditation today to help kickstart that for whatever goals you might have, and we'll look at that later. But in the meantime, the rest of the forecast is gonna be the same. I start off with a channeled message, which is just me using my raw intuition, and that's what I do when I meditate and come in a little bit early. Then we're gonna be using all the cards here to look at the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, really give you the forecast for the month ahead. And after that, I like to expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. So let's go ahead and get into that channeled message. And I want to take a moment too to just say welcome to everybody from across the world. I see we have Sweden, the UK, everything like that, Canada. It's so good to see everybody here. And this is one of the things that I love about being able to show up live. So it's nice to see you guys. All right, so before the reading starts, around an hour before actually, I'm here, I'm meditating. I also say hi to anyone that shows up in the chat room. But as I was meditating on your sign this morning, what came to me was the image of a bee and a hive. And I got a few things from this. First of all, to me, bees are really a wonderful symbol of power and fertility. When I see that, I think of abundance, I think of being really busy. And the key thing that came through for you was group dynamics. So I wrote down, I actually have two cards for you to kind of talk about all of the information. But the first thing was the group dynamics of being part of that sort of the hive mentality, and then also maybe being like the queen bee and stepping out. So I think some of you are going to have a moment to emerge or step out from a group activity, or maybe even kind of push away from family expectations, cultural expectations, something that kind of wants to keep you in a box or in a pattern or in a template. And this month, where your power really exists is where you can break free and create your own path. It's interesting because earlier this week, I even had a little dream about something going on with the royal family, particularly Meghan. And I thought, why am I dreaming about her? And then we saw what was going on in the news. That's a prime example of trying to break out of a template. You can see they're having a hard time doing it. So I thought it would be worth mentioning something topical right now, because you can see that they're trying to create their own path, but also receiving a lot of pushback. So one thing that they maybe didn't do that you could do is try to figure out how to work within the group. And if you're going to make an announcement or a change, try to find a way to navigate through some of the bureaucracy. So if you're in a company or a big family, or even trying to do something politically and trying to change the landscape, it helps if you can get a few key players to be there to help support that shift or that change. And so I think that's going to be the challenge for some of you. And when we look at the cards here in a moment, I'll try to highlight moments of those group dynamics and how to be more harmonious in that. And for those of you that are ready to kind of step out, speak out, or make your own sort of imprint on the world, I'll see if there's a way that you can navigate through some of the challenges that you might be facing. Okay? At this point, I'm going to turn the camera down, shuffle the cards, and really take a look at everything. I remain quiet at this point, and so just stay with me as I do that. But after I've laid everything out, I'll join you and we'll break down each and every card and symbol for the month ahead. All right. Thank you for being patient. The catalyst card is something that ties together all of the messages. For me, many times I see this as the most important kind of conduit. It's that key that's going to help you unlock the highest energy and also in some cases help you avoid something. And I think we get a little bit of the latter here. We have this card that shows exhaustion, kind of getting lost in the shuffle. And I think for many of you, one of the things that you want to focus on this month is work-life balance and really making smart choices. Because the interesting thing when it comes to exhaustion is, I think many times we just try to please other people too much. And it's hard to say no, or it's hard to, in some cases, just walk away. And what we see here with your crowning card, the Fool, is you may not even need to have some sort of an argument, a disagreement, or put yourself in a situation where you feel like there's no way out. I think for some of you, if it's 6 o'clock, it's time to leave. The Fool card is showing that. Or, if you're the only one that's doing the work, then ask yourself, why is that going on? Have you set up that pattern where people just know you're going to cover for them? This might be a month to let people be accountable for the work they're supposed to be doing. So either let them know that you can't, or just walk away, and then they come in the next day and they realize, oh, I guess I have to finish that because this person didn't get to it. So there is a choice here, I think, and some of it is as simple as not pushing yourself so hard If you have someone that's expecting that, then you also have to speak up and talk about self-care and just say, I really feel like this isn't sustainable. I'm getting tired. I'm feeling fatigued, etc. So manage your time, manage your energy, and really honor your body, because when I'm looking at your the ego position, which can just show what's going on in your body and your mind, we have 10 of Swords in reverse. So that exhaustion, whether it's coming through as, for some of you, you might be getting sick, you could be having chronic pain or fatigue, but you could also be losing your focus and then perhaps getting into an argument. And so I really want you can avoid the 10 of Swords by taking care of this exhaustion card and not feeling like you have to carry the weight of the world. So you are great at pushing things, making things happen, but you don't always have to do it. And especially not if other people are kind of like slacking on the job. I don't get that feeling at all for you this month. It feels like you're going to be very busy. That's probably why I saw the bees and the hive earlier. The Four of Swords in reverse is actually showing that you're overdue for a vacation, for some rest, or for some, again, just self-care. So know that you're going to be so much more productive when you put aside that time for yourself, when you really honor your needs as well as the needs of the many. And I do think that as we go back to what I was talking about earlier, kind of standing up, standing out, and then realizing that you can't do it all. There's a group there to help you out. So hold them accountable, ask for help. I feel like they're there to help you, but sometimes you just have to ask. We have the Emperor card here crossing the Four of Swords, which means this is a chance to really show what you can do, show your power, show your voice. So the Emperor card is one that oftentimes, depending on the position and if it's upright or reverse, in this case, it's actually showing that you need to take control. And that it's specifically in control of your time and resting. So we're seeing more of that there. If there's anyone in your life that's also kind of pushing you into doing something you don't want to do, this is about standing up to that, standing up to authority, just, again, saying no or pushing back as needed. As I look at Deep Past, and this is what's really going to be affecting all of the energy this month, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So for some of you, it's going to be difficult to change the deadlines or the sort of timelines. It feels like some things are kind of cemented, maybe because there's been a contract, you've agreed to do something in a certain contractual agreement, or there's been a communication, like if you're in a company, there's been some sort of a global email or press release, and now you're trying to catch up. And I feel like this is especially the case where we see the Emperor card, where that's where you have to talk back to the person that made that announcement and say, well, we need more support. It's fine, but you're going to have to really help me help you in this particular situation. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse also shows me that things are going to be okay, but there is going to be a little bit more time and energy expended this month. And so try not to go overboard with new purchases or taking on any sort of new responsibilities. So I think that's really key for most of you. Focus on existing resources, what you can do, and just be realistic with that. The fact that I see the Wheel of Fortune, though, does portend good things. For me, the reversal of like a Four of Wands or a Wheel of Fortune or a Sun card tells me that there's like delayed success in the work. So many of you have been waiting for things to sort of happen. And again, I think timing, cosmic timing, and perhaps even timing that's out of your control. That's something you really have to think about. Four of Pentacles. What we're really looking at this month, this is your recent past, it's foundational. The fact that you're watching this, many of you in January, and we're looking at February, means that one of the things you could look at is who else could you sort of call on for resources, for help. This particular deck doesn't just use Rider-Waite. It's kind of like the Thoth deck and Rider-Waite smashed together. And so Four of Pentacles is not always a bad card. It can be one where you're actually putting down all the pieces that you're going to need to grow upon. And that's what I think that you could kind of look at this month. Even if you're not seeing all the fruits of your labor, the planning that you're making, the decisions and all of that you're kind of putting into play, it's going to create all of that momentum that will eventually come through. And I like that this Wheel of Fortune is kind of like all this machinery, all these cogs. So once they start moving, everything starts to take shape and form, and actually you might be trying to catch up in the months ahead. So try to enjoy any sort of rest or reprieve that you have right now. That's why I pushed that earlier. I really think it's important for you. There's some travel opportunities that may come through this month. We have the Fool in the crowning position. The Fool card is great. It's about taking risks, trying new things. It can show an unexpected energy overall this month. So I would say just be open to trying new things. The one thing that's unique about this particular Fool card is we see all this stuff around the person that could distract them from what's important. So this could be people's sort of, gossip. It could be having too many things on your plate. It could also be about you not just being fully present and seeing the opportunities in front of you. So the Fool card is about letting go of all of those distractions and really just being able to go with the flow. Because again, some of this you can't change too much. I feel like some deadlines or some resources have been locked. And so what you have to try to do is do the best you can with that. Sometimes we're dealt a crazy deck of cards, in real life. And it's like, all right, this isn't the best situation, but I could either get really upset or I could take a deep breath and kind of let it go off my back, like rain on the back. So I think if you could just let it go away and think today's one day, tomorrow will be better, and I'm really focusing on making it a great year and a great month, I think you're going to be in a good place. All right, there's a partnership opportunity that's coming through this month because whenever I see two of the same suit, it could be like a king and queen of pentacles, for instance, or if I see the magician and the high priestess rather, or in this case, the emperor and the empress, it's showing me a partnership. So I actually feel like some of you are bringing in this divine feminine energy, the empress, a great opportunity to find someone to do business with, or if you've been looking for a long time to find someone that could be the perfect partner in life, you actually might find someone who gets you, who understands you, and pulls an even weight. One thing that I talked about a little bit in my manifestation video, but I think I'll do a separate one if we're trying to manifest like a soul partnership, is that you're not looking for a teacher. You're looking for someone who shines just as brightly as you. I didn't use this analogy in that video, but what I like to kind of refer to a divine partner as is like a binary star. So if you think back to like Star Wars, there was that planet Tatooine and the twin stars. There's actually more twin stars out in the solar system than like one solar star at the middle of our system. Like that single star is kind of unique. So if you could think of binary stars where they both shine brightly, maybe they have a different color, maybe they're a different size, but they both shine brightly. That's what I think of a perfect partnership being. You don't have to outshine the other. You both can pull your weight, literally, and you don't have to destroy one another if you're in the right distance there. So I think knowing where your boundaries are, knowing what you can do, kind of dividing responsibilities, leaning on each other. If you can do that, if you can find a person that can kind of slip into that mode, then you've got the great partnership that I'm seeing here. So it may be a friendship, it may be a work opportunity, and it also might be love, but I'm seeing something that's a really nice match for you. But the key for you, because the Emperor card can sometimes be a little bit hard-headed, is to kind of let this divine feminine energy come in and support you and help you grow as well. You have something that you can gain from this partnership. And that's where we're going back to this sort of harmonization between being an individual and being part of the hive. So some of you might just have a hard time getting into a relationship, which is a very small group, because there's been so much time where you've been solo, like our son. So whatever the situation is, I see that it's going to be a little bit of a dance for you this month, a cosmic dance between going in the group and then working on your own, going back into the group and working on your own. So whether that's a big company or just a party of two, you'll find that harmony, and I think you can work it out. The important thing is, as we look at the environment, is to really be open, communicative, and clear, and try not to, as we look in the ego, go to like taking things personally. This is one of the few Ten of Swords cards that shows that it's actually not necessarily as bad as you think. We're up in the clouds here. So the thing with any sort of anything in the suit of air is that it's what you make it, right? So if someone says something that's critical, you could try to find the constructive nature in it. If somebody approaches you and they're kind of putting you on the defensive, you could take a deep breath and just say, by the way, it's good to see you. Hello. Let's take a deep breath and let me see if I understand what you're saying. If you can basically neutralize the energy a little bit, you're going to have a lot of power in that situation, and you're going to be able to avoid saying something that you don't want to say. And I think that as much as I want everybody this month to own where they're at, it's funny, even as I say it, I lose my voice. I want you to really be careful with saying something that you don't want to say. Don't get choked up. Don't kind of like speak before you think. To that end, I'm going to take a drink of water here. So that's actually one of the key things that you can do is acknowledge sometimes what people are saying. Just say, I hear you. Because sometimes they'll keep talking until there's a pause or until there's an acknowledgement of their point of view being heard. You don't have to agree. And I think that's one thing that we lose sometimes in everyday life, is feeling like if we listen to someone, or if we just say, I hear you, it's somehow that we've given up power. It's actually just letting someone show what they need to show, and you're going to have a chance to understand them more. The older I get, the more I realize that the pauses that we allow, the more I listen, the more I get to, it actually gives you insight into something, and you're going to know how to navigate that. And that's what we see in the opportunity area. The High Priestess reverse can be a misunderstood card. Sometimes she's seen as manipulative, but I see her as one of the key diplomats. And so when she goes into the reversed mode, it's about kind of what you would see with someone that might be in debate club, where they acknowledge what the other person has to say, they empathize with that situation, and then in a non-combative and in a sort of also very open way, they express a different point of view and say, what about this? Have you ever thought about it from this perspective? We don't have to try it, but this is something that I stumbled upon. This is based on my research. So the High Priestess this month reversed is saying two things. First of all, trust your intuition. Trust that you have an ancient knowledge that's going to be able to help you kind of navigate any challenges that come your way. And then also use what you learn in the silence, in the sort of listening, to be a good diplomat, to really let someone know that you're there for their benefit. And even if you are trying to get something done, you can do it so that it is a win-win situation. You can find the middle ground. And I think that's the power this month. And that's what's happening in the opportunity area. High Priestess, of course, shows expansion and development of intuitive gifts. And so for many of you this month, if you choose to do it, you can really start to open up and tap into your intuition in ways that you haven't before. This is going to open up a really big growth opportunity for you in the long run here. We have the Star card in reverse. And for me, the Star card, whether it's upright or reversed, it indicates a period during which you're really going to be able to step into the limelight, or to kind of embark upon your soul's path. So I think that if you don't hold back this month, if you kind of just go out on a limb, that's what the Fool card is telling you. And if you embrace trying something new, and if you do it in a way that is not going to step on other people's feet, but also is going to challenge them to look at something from a different perspective, then some really great things can happen. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat this morning, so you'll have to bear with me. One thing with the Star card is, particularly when it's in the reverse, the message I'm getting right now is that there's room for more than one big personality at the table. So some of you may be in a family where maybe you have a lot of different siblings where they all want to speak up, and it's the loudest voice that gets heard. Just make sure that if you're the loud voice, that you're actually letting someone else at the table have a moment to shine. And that by having really strong people in your group or in your team, or if you're a manager, if someone is doing really great underneath you in your team, that is an absolute reflection of you. So you're as good as your company. And if your company is amazing, you're amazing. So I want you to know that. Don't feel upset if you feel like, why isn't my moment in the sun happening right now? It will happen, and it already is starting to, because you're in the light of other people that are doing great. So learn from them. See that as a mentorship opportunity. And maybe they can also bring you into something amazing and wonderful as well. So I see that there's someone in your midst right now is probably going to experience some success or a really great opportunity be there for them, celebrate them, because I have a feeling they're going to be right there when everything works your way as well. Thank you, by the way, for that super chat. So just know that that's going to open up opportunities for you. And again, it's a reflection of you. Let's go ahead now and expand the forecast. I'm going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And each of these I see as multifaceted cards, which means that they're not just about the word that we're going to say. So for me, health is your mind, your body, and your spirit. This month, you can make a change in that, but you may also be sort of tasked with finding stability. So I don't necessarily want to see a volcano card in health. That tells me, as we see here, volatility. If you're at a point where you're burning the candle at both ends. The Four of Swords reversed is showing not enough sleep. The Fool card can show that there's a tendency to kind of make a misstep. So, if you're operating a car, a bike, or walking, these two cards together can show that something clumsy can happen. So please get enough sleep. And if you're working at a job where, you're operating machinery or paying attention to a lot of sort of screens at once, you could miss something and you don't want to miss that. So sleep is essential. I have to underline that a few times. The good news, however, is that some of you, all you need to do is get an adjustment. When I'm looking at the Ten of Swords reversed, that shows me a lot of times that there could be something going on in your spine, like that a chiropractor could help with, or that you could get acupuncture. The Ten of Swords also shows me that something as small as that could do a reset on your muscular, skeletal, or energetic system. And that's going to actually push you in a positive space. So for those of you that are feeling something wrong, like I have a scratchy throat today, I'm going to go and talk to the doctor. Or if you're feeling like there's something going on where you just don't feel like you can stand or sit as well, then you need to get that taken care of. This is showing that it can change, it can shift, but if you don't take care of it, it could kind of take you out of commission, and none of us want that. So honor yourself, make the changes you need. If you do want to see an improvement, though, with development of intuition, that's the spirit portion, or if you want to do something like get more fit or eat better, this volatile card shows that you can actually make those changes, and you're probably going to see a nice return on whatever change or investment you do in that. So changes are everywhere here, but you want to take care of yourself so that you're not going to an extreme and you're not avoiding something that's popping up. That pain, that scratch in the throat, whatever it is, you got to pay attention to it. Let me see if there's anything else. The fact that we have two cards that I see, like King and Queen, the Emperor and the Empress, sitting too much is not going to help, particularly if you have any sort of lower back issues. Definitely take care of that as well. All right, looking at wealth. Wealth is your opportunities, but also your self-confidence and how you're either pushing them away or bringing them into your life. It says your life purpose involves body work such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, or exercise training. What I'm actually seeing here is that by getting the healing that I was just talking about, it's going to help you be able to do everything that you need. You have to honor your body as a vessel, as a vehicle through which we're going to travel on this planet. So there's something that you have to take care of in your body. And if you don't take care of that, everything else takes a second seat. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid, or if you're late for a meeting, or if someone's expecting something from you. You have to really take care of your body and yourself this month. It's the fact that I have two messages side by side, and it's actually sort of overshadowing the normal sort of career message. It tells me that health is paramount. Thank you, Elaine. So please honor that this month. When I'm also looking at career, I'm going to say a couple of other things based on the cards here. Some of you may decide to spin off a company or kind of go solo or do something on your own, because I have two of the most powerful cards, the King and the Queen here, the Emperor and Empress, and then I have the Star. So to me, this is entrepreneurial energy. And this is about also getting outside of that template that we talked about earlier, even at the risk of rejection, even at the risk of nobody understanding that. Speaking from someone who's done it, when I quit a corporate job that was really, it made sense. It was good paying and a good company. And then I said I was going to like write and read cards. People thought I was nuts. But you have to follow that thought and just go for it at any risk. And it's something that I don't regret. So when we look at manifestation, maybe I can help some of you that want to step into this big idea of who you can become or what you want to do. For some of you, it could just be a career shift. It doesn't mean you have to do it on your own. It might just mean repackaging everything that you've done in the past and think, all right, maybe I'm actually meant to be this kind of person. And, so instead of a teacher, I want to go out and, open a boutique or something like that. Or I want to work in, fashion or something like that. And you'll find a way to repackage all of your skills and experience to do that. All right, looking at love. I think the key thing for many of you, if you're in an existing relationship, for those of you that are already partnered, it says work on that partnership. And the fact that I saw the king and the queen there tells me that many of you have that. You have already found a loving partner in your life. If you're looking for love, then what this is really showing you is to take care of yourself first and to work on yourself first, because that volatility energy that I was seeing in health, the self-care message that was coming through in wealth, and the star card is showing me that once you become who you are and do what you want to do, you'll naturally pull the person into your life. So a little bit of self-work if you're single, but if you're in a relationship, it feels like you could spend some time just being with the person. I didn't get immensely passionate cards this month. I actually got cards about clear communication. So I think one thing that you could do in a partnership is just make time to talk or to listen. And I think that's really important. Again, thank you so much for all the soup chats today. I appreciate it. So that's going to be really, really important to successful partnerships. And I think that, by the way, the star for me can indicate an Aquarius, even though Aquarius is an air sign, it is a water barrier. So sometimes it can be that, and just be aware that there may be someone new coming into your life as well. All right, let's go ahead now and look at destiny. I spoke earlier about why I'm doing these earlier, like a month ahead. I mentioned free will is important. When we look at destiny, this really is the ultimate free will card, and you can change whatever you see here, or you can continue on that path. It says, keep your eyes on your targeted intention. This card was reversed, but I'm going to help you with that today. This is about manifesting. And this is about razor sharp focus. You notice Archangel Michael here kind of taking a bow and arrow, picking that one target and really going towards it. So for me, this is kind of like moving from something like the 8 of Wands into the Ace of Wands, really putting everything into one idea or one focal point. And I think that's going to be what's important for you this month, particularly for those of you that were feeling like you're Atlas, holding up the world, you're fatigued, you can't do it anymore. You don't have to. Let go of some of these things, be discerning, be picky, and through that care, through that attention, great things can happen. Before I go into looking at what you can manifest and going into the meditation, I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera down and quickly review everything that we talked about, and then we'll do that, okay? So, as I mentioned, your big message this month has to do with this sort of cosmic dance between a group dynamic between the hive and then also being queen bee. And there can be harmony. When I was thinking of it, I could hear the buzzing of the bees. Literally, they vibrate at a high frequency. They kind of dance around. They have their own sort of harmony. They know what to do. But there is someone that can step out and kind of like set some order. So for you, you might be that change agent this month. Standing out of the crowd is good. Just remember that if you work within a hierarchy or some sort of a closed system, you're going to have to try to get some support so that you have more success in making a break if you can. One of the key things you can do this month is take care of rest. So we see that with the exhaustion card and the 4 of Swords reverse, which really is saying the same thing in a different way. The other thing with the 4 of Swords reverse is about patience. So I think that, as I said, there is some cosmic timing at play here with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So be kind with yourself, be patient with some things that are happening. I see really awesome things on the horizon here. So don't rush through anything. Being still, and I know it's hard for all of us, being quiet at certain points is going to be amazingly important. I feel like you have a partner ready to help you. So whether it's a lover, a friend, or a coworker, I see someone that can help you achieve your goals and has that same divine energy that you do. So open yourself up to it and be present. I think the Fool card was talking about not getting distracted. So take time to just pay attention to what's around you, and you might notice there's a person that wants to help you out. With money and resources this month, it's very foundational. I talked about a slightly different interpretation of 4 of Pentacles, which is laying down the groundwork for something that's important. And that being picky or being discerning is really important here. If you're constantly running on empty, as we see with this particular card, it's not going to be possible to have a firm foundation. You're going to have cracks in that foundation. So honor that, be careful, take care of yourself, say no, push back a little bit. And if you need to, partner up with somebody, particularly if you already have your own business. And for those of you in a partnership, I think the key thing that came through was communication. Now, if you are retired, one thing that comes through is that this is a really good time to travel a little bit. It feels like some of you may have been doing too much sort of sitting, and it feels like there's impatience here or maybe fear about the finances. So maybe look and see if you can find a super saver or a deal or an opportunity to travel, because especially for those of you that are retired, I feel like this could change up your energy. It could help you get out of any sort of family things that could be going on. Sometimes the 10 of Swords can even be something like an argument with someone that you love. 10 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, all the 10s to me indicate like that group energy that we were talking about. So get away from the group in that particular situation, spend some time on your own. And whether you are younger or older, I think that the getting out in nature, taking a day off, taking some time to yourself is going to be really key. It's going to help you connect with your intuition. And notice that this particular High Priestess is right by the water. So getting close to the elements, particularly water, could be very helpful in healing this month. And finally, with the Star card, there's a chance to try something new, but there's a little bit of fear of the unknown. Anytime that there's something that's worth doing, this happens. So just remember that without risk, there can't be growth. Don't fear the unknown. Really step into something that brings you passion. And also, if someone wants to or needs to shine around you, let them and celebrate that, knowing that you'll have your own moment. Health, don't ignore the warning signs. Wealth, go back to health. Don't ignore the warning signs. Take care of yourself. So health and wealth are intrinsically tied. You can't progress until you've taken care of your mind, body, and spirit. It's basically the same message in both. Partnerships are, I would not only say happening, but they're vital this month. So whether it's a love or work or friend partnership, you're going to need someone to get to the star moment here. And then focus. That's really what we see here. And that's what we're going to focus on next. I'm going to help you find what you can really put your energy into and really hopefully improve upon your manifestation and any of those New Year's resolutions that you have. So again, I see some super chats here. Thank you so much. I'll acknowledge that when we're all done. I would love to now talk a little bit more about manifestation. And again, I want to refer everybody to the video that I did this month. I'll make sure that it's put into the replay. You'll have it as one of the cards and also probably on the end screen. And later this week, I'll give it to my moderators so that they can paste it out there as well. So manifestation, as I said earlier, you could kind of think of this as your operating system. You're going to go into your operating system and change some of the coding so that you not only think I want to do this, you start to believe I am doing this. This is happening. And that's a difference between, for me, a New Year's resolution, like I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to get a new job or whatever your goal is. Those are some typical ones. But when you start to manifest, particularly if it's something like love, you would start to feel more attractive. You would start to feel the energy of that future partner coming into your life. So again, there's a subtlety of not just thinking I can do this or I want this, but really owning the power that you have to pull it into your life. Because to me, the star here is like the sun, and that is the energy of attraction. To that end, thoughts can be both attractive and also repulsive. I wish there was a better word for it, but that's actually pretty good. Magnetic, or they can push things away. So if you think to yourself, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, or it's not, like it's not going to happen. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I have bad luck. I'm cursed. Any of those things, they're self-fulfilling prophecies. So the first thing I want to help all of you with is just to kind of like let those go. Instead, start to think, I'm ready. This is happening. And then just start to imagine how you will feel when it's happened to you and exist in that energy. All right. So watch my video for more on manifestation, but that was just a little bit of a teaser of what that's about. Let's go ahead now and pull some cards and see what's coming through for you over this month. I'm going to do past, present, future, influences and opportunities, and we'll see what's going on for you. The reason I'm doing manifestation, by the way, instead of just love for February is not everyone needs or wants to manifest in love. If you want that, this can be your love reading. If you're looking for a job or putting your passion in something else, I want to make sure this is for everybody. Because I know some of you are students, some of you are retired, some of you are married. So I think manifestation is a much healthier and much more sort of broad-reaching opportunity to help you with things. Okay, Taurus, what are we going to do? I'm going to pull all of them. I'll show you as I do them. But we have 10 of Pentacles, past influence, strength card for present influence, and we have rebirth here in the outcome. Okay. So this one was reversed. With the 10 of Pentacles, this definitely is connected to work, and it can also be family or marriage. So what we're looking at here is, for some of you, a need, a desire, a want to step away from that, what can sometimes be almost a suffocating energy. And so what I want to show you, though, is that you have a lot of support, and that is something that's great. And some of the people are actually there to help you out. It may not be everybody, but I see at least one strong partner, and that came through in the general spread. But as we look at this whole card, which can be the tree, it can also be sometimes like too much. So I think for you, learning how and when to activate that network that loves and cares about you, it's key. Not to just let them sort of feel like you're walking away from them and deserting them is also key. So some of the elements that we saw here are really important. Now, in just manifestation alone, 10 of Pentacles normally would show me grounding. It's an earth card. The fact that it's reversed and we see this big tree with the roots in the upright position, I would say means that grounding is going to be important. And then knowing that you can sometimes transplant. So depending on what you're doing, you might be able to take everything, put it somewhere else, and it can grow again. But in the case of something this established, it might be a brand new start. So the first thing that you want to look at is, do I want to start fresh, or am I going to try to take something with me and use that as a base? That's the foundational element. So I want you in your as we meditate in a moment, we're going to say that I am supported. And I can use the support however I would like. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. You have that, you can activate it, or you can walk away from it. But even if you walk away from it, you learn so much. So if you had a big family, or if you worked at a corporate entity, or if you've been going to college for a long time, and now you're thinking of stepping out on your own, that foundation of togetherness, the hive energy that I was seeing earlier, it does give you a feeling that I know I can belong, or I belong somewhere. And even if I decide to fly out on my own, I know I can always go back there. And that's a sense of safety. For many of you, this particular month, it's just a feeling of, can I do this on my own? Strength card is in and of itself saying that you can. The reversal of this, there's two messages. Sometimes you've been spending your strength on others. So you might be an administrative assistant, or some sort of a person in a support role, maybe even your partnership. You've been taking care of someone that has been sick or needing your help. This is time now for you to reclaim your power and to refocus it, as we saw Archangel Michael doing here. So you've always had it. This is a month of reclamation for you, and that will help you in your manifestation as well. And finally, this is your only card that came through as upright, and it was in the future state, so I like that. I also love that it's the bold part is rebirth. I wish more decks showed the verbiage transformation, rebirth, or metamorphosis, because that's what death is. It's not always sort of like you're the dead end. The thing with this card, the Phoenix here, is that you have to walk through the fire. You have to let go of something. You have to go through one door to get to another one. And so know that whatever you've lost, there's a lot more to gain. And the interesting thing here is that we're actually seeing fire manifest. This is the potential. This is the actuality. So you're taking something and maybe, like, again, it's your old foundation. You're setting fire to it. It's like a voluntary tower that you're doing between these two. That was the past. This is the future. You rise above it. You're something new. You are the star. But there is a sort of destructive and constructive element to this card. Taking what you need, leaving the rest behind, and really working with the energy of fire. So I think some great things are possible this month. The only thing that's holding you back, perhaps in manifestation, is the understanding that you have the power and that you can break free of that old system or that old paradigm, and that, yeah, the future is exciting, but it is unknown, because look at these three cards: the Fool, the Star reversed with the Star nonetheless, and then Rebirth. So in order to get to that star, you have to think of yourself in a different light. So let's go ahead and meditate together. For those of you that are at work or busy or need to drop off, you can watch this later and you can watch it on the replay. And if you really like this, you can also rewatch it and just come back to this particular part of the reading, okay? But for those of you that are ready to participate, this is a really magical part that I like to do for all the live readings. So let's meditate together. I'm going to take a drink of water. I'd like everybody to get comfortably seated or positioned wherever you are so that you can enjoy this. All right, take a moment now to close your eyes. And I want you to kind of do a mental scan of your body. See if there's any part where you feel like you're holding on to stress or tension. The fact that I saw the Ten of Swords means that many of you may be holding it either in the upper, middle, or lower back. So this could be because of, like we hold on to stuff in our shoulders a lot of times because of the figurative weight that we're carrying in the world. So I want you to feel like as we take each breath, that weight is being lifted and you start to feel as if you're as light as a feather. Like no longer do you have any of the sort of weight or the mass of our body. You're just sort of, you're basically entering the energy of your higher self, which is weightless and it's an energy being. So I just want you to kind of focus on being feather light. So let's take a nice deep breath together. Inhale. Let go of heavy thoughts, things that are like fear, doubt, frustration, etc. Just push that out to the horizon. Breathe in again. Again, let go of fear, doubt, frustration. All those things that are getting in the way of manifestation. I can't, I won't, I shouldn't. Anything like that, let it go. One last breath. Good. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit lighter in the head, lighter in the energy, and starting to feel almost a buzz of energy going around you. Going back to my meditation at the beginning where I saw the bees, where I saw the group dynamics, just tune into the sound of what a hive would sound like, that higher frequency. And imagine that you could kind of auto-tune it and take it even a little bit higher. Pull your frequency up so that it goes above the group dynamic so that you start to find your own voice. And if there's anything in your mind, your body, or your spirit that needs a fine tuning, for me, it might be my throat. For you, it might be your back. I want you to put the energy into that space. Take a nice deep breath with me. And on the exhale, imagine that you're puffing out smoke or mist or whatever it was that was pulling you down, whatever that lower frequency was. Get rid of it. We're extracting some of the lower energy in your body. And now as I look at your cards, I'm going to help you. You can keep your eyes closed, but looking at past influences. With love and with light, I want you to look back at the people in your life. And even if they haven't always been as loving as you wanted, as accepting as you needed, as open-minded as they should have been, know that they were there to give you some sort of a lesson or a foundation. And in this moment, you can just honor them for their flaws and also for any of their strengths. And at this point, just like the Phoenix that we saw in the future state of these cards, you can decide that it might be time to move on and you can take what you've learned and become something different. You're not destined to repeat the mistakes of their past, of their present. You're someone different. And embodying that energy of the Strength card, you're going to be able to rise above. So I want to focus now on you becoming the Phoenix. And I think that's going to be your powerful meditation. Becoming the Phoenix and perhaps then evolving into the star, because that's what needs to happen. We need to have a lot of fire and light in your energy. So see your present position. Imagine that you are above your body, looking down at where you're at. And I want you to now, above your body, see who you want to be. And start to see this beautiful light body, coming through your physical body, rising above it, and taking shape. It's like a shapeshifter. It can be whatever you want to be. So if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a celebrity, if you want to be a politician, if you just want to be successful, whatever it is you're trying to create in your life, see yourself leaving your body for a second and becoming that. See the true shape of your resplendent light body. It is malleable. It can be whatever you want it to be. Imagine that you could kind of reach up with your physical body and hold that within your hands. You can feel that future. You can feel that light. You can feel that energy. And then allow for that to re-enter your body and change you into that. Feel like you're almost locking into this new you. The old you, the new you, they become one, and the change is underway. And that's really what I want you to think in this first breath. Think, I am. That's a very powerful statement, by the way. I am becoming exactly what I need to be. I am making that move towards that. Today is the first day of that change, of that metamorphosis. Take a breath and think, I am. I am becoming, I am successful, I am ready, I'm making it happen. Feel the energetic shift within your body as your future self energetically maybe looks different than who you are today, but it's there. It's part of your auric field. People now that are going to meet you are going to start to feel, sense, and see this future sense of who you are. Now, I want you to focus on your heart chakra, and also for many of you, your throat chakra, because you're going to need to connect your heart with your communication skills. And I want you now to see light within the two of these, a green energy around the heart and a beautiful blue energy around your throat. And the two of them together could be some really cool color, whether it's aquamarine or turquoise or whatever. See this beautiful star that may not even exist in actual astronomy, but see this beautiful bluish green energy coursing around your body. And as we take this next breath, I want you to almost see a supernova of light, because you're going to become the phoenix in this moment. And you're going to rise above your current situation and own this dream and begin the manifestation. See it, feel it, and believe it. Inhale. And really exhale, really push away your fear, your doubt, and your uncertainty. Break the old template. Feel and see this energy of this new you. If you want to open your arms out and almost feel like you're pushing away the old boundaries, kind of having these wings that are spreading out and taking flight for the year ahead. Although this is February, many of you are seeing it in January. It doesn't matter which month you're watching this. You have the energy to take flight, to shift and change the next 10 or 11 months ahead of you. And now I want you to leave the meditation today with the idea that this is going to be like gliding, like smooth sailing. For any of you that have taken a bike and rode it downhill, you know, there's a certain point where you no longer have to move your legs. You can just sort of do sailing or easy sailing. It's like you're just going on the momentum. Finally, as we saw in your spread, the Wheel of Fortune is working in your favor because we had to do some reprogramming. So just imagine that you could, like a feather, just drift in the direction that you need to go. And leave the meditation with one last thought before you open your eyes, which is, this is going to be easier than I thought. One last breath. Let it go. That felt good. I hope that helped you guys get rid of the old template, let go of the family constraints or the old feelings of I can't do this or it's not going to happen. It can happen. You will be able to do that. I just want to say thank you so much. Back when I used to record and edit these, I would make sure that I said this every time, but I'm going to try to do it this month. The reason I show up every month is to try to create light workers on this planet. What we were doing right there is an example of that. It's not just about looking at, am I going to find love? Will I get a raise? Am I going to lose 10 pounds? It's actually about, how can I become a more powerful version of myself? How can I create change on the planet? We saw that with the Emperor, the Empress, the star, even the volcano, and also the rebirth card here. There's a big chance for you to break an old cycle and start something new. You're so far probably one of the most impactful readings I've seen over the past couple of months. So I feel like there's a lot of energy that you can tap into in February. And because you're seeing, many of you, you're seeing this in January, you can make that change happen. If you found that this was impactful and you want to share it with others, please hit like and subscribe and that little bell icon, and then share it with people in your social media network. To that end, let me just tell you how you can follow me. I used to be able to put a lower third graphic, but I can't do it on live, so I'm going to have visual aids. On Facebook, Patreon, and YouTube, it's just my name. You can follow me at Nicholas Ashbaugh. When you watch this on replay, I will have that as one of the cards. You can also join me on Instagram. It's my name underscore, first name underscore last name, so Nicholas underscore Ashbaugh on Instagram. And the cool thing is if you follow my Facebook page or my Instagram profile, I will put little stories that will remind you which video is next for the live feeds, because I know we're all busy and we forget. So it's a great way to keep track. I do the same thing on Twitter, so feel free to follow me there. I'll remind you which sign is live on which day. If you like what you see today, I know a lot of you did super chats. Thank you so much. I saw that over the course of the video, and I'll make sure to call out who did that when I look at this later. I just want to say thank you. You can also, if you're kind of older school and you want to join me on PayPal, it's paypal.me, and surprise, surprise, it's my name. I know my moderators are putting these links out so you can follow them there. On my official website, which is just myname.com, there's also a link to become a patron. And patron is just a fancy word for supporter, but that will have links to everything that we talked about: Patreon, PayPal, and also here on YouTube. There's a difference, by the way, between a join and subscribe. Join is to support the channel every month with a monetary contribution. Subscribing costs nothing, so everybody should subscribe. But if you want to join me, that's another way that you can do it. And it gives you some extra emojis. And sometimes if I do a Q&A, I will take questions from members first. And most of you discovered how to use Super Chat today, so thank you so much for that. That being said, I hope you enjoyed today. It's been so nice to connect with all of you. And I see some of you asking some questions. Just a reminder, this isn't a Q&A, but I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the meditation. And hopefully, if you have any ideas or suggestions for future ones, drop me a line. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much. Thanks again to Ryan and Maria also for helping moderate and answer questions during the reading. Really nice to meet all of you. Wishing you much love and light now and always. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, and I'll post it. I think I'm doing 2 tomorrow, so I'll post the times on my Instagram and Facebook. So join me if you haven't already there, okay? Until then, see you guys soon. Bye-bye.